Hey all, I've attached some rings here on this gorgeous beach and I'm going to take you through a fun ring workout. We're going to start off a little bit soothing and gentle and get into some harder stuff at the end. Do what feels right for you. You can always really scale up and down these exercises on the rings, which is one of the reasons I love using them. So stick around until the end of this video because I'm going to tell you some other ways that you can work with me, play with me, and move with me from small scale to quite extravagant scale. So stick around to the end to hear that. But let's get into this fun routine.
So here we go. Let's set up our rings and get those rings to hang just about face height. When you look through your rings, your chin should line up with the bottom end of the ring. And then just make sure that those rings are about even. Then we'll step through the rings and allow your pelvis just to hang directly under the rings. Your feet will step forward and we're going to rock the body a little bit back and forth, pushing back on the heels and then driving forward. Just taking a little gentle swing on the rings to start with straight arms. Then engage your glutes, lock your hips, lock your elbows straight, and squeeze your shoulder blades together and pull them apart. We call that retraction and protraction of those shoulder blades. Next, we'll let the pelvis again fall under the rings and pull the shoulder blades down from the ears and let them rise up with still straight elbows. Here we have scapular depression and elevation. You can do again about 10 reps of those. And then again, you can swing it out a little bit. We're just warming up on these rings. From here, we're going to set up for a German hang. We will hold this position for 10 to 15 seconds. In this position, we have our shoulders internally rotated. So your palms are facing the direction of the crown of your head and you're pulling your shoulder blades apart in protraction and your pelvis is just lower than your shoulders. We'll return to that German hang later. For now, let's continue to explore how we can gently load into the shoulders, into the hands, and find some nice gentle stretches here. We will be internally and externally rotating through the shoulders in, of course, a pain-free range of motion. So judge for yourself how much you want to load into your hands. Next, let's get inverted. So see if you can get yourself completely inverted with straight arms and stay there. Vertical, tension through your abs, straight line through your hips, and stay for 10 to 15 seconds. Great. And after that, you might need to release the shoulders and give those hands a little bit of a break. So I love the throw down. Feet apart, give a little squat and reach the arms and then throw them down. And like you're flicking away any tension through the arms. Or as if you have something sticking to your fingertips, imagine you want to flick that stickiness off of your fingertips. Okay, my friends, round 2. Begin behind your rings. You're facing the rings, palms facing down, and then circle the arms back and wide. This will internally rotate you at the shoulders. Your palms will end up facing the direction of the crown of your head. Now we're in the German hang. We separate those shoulder blades, protract, and let your hips be just lower than your shoulders, and then skin the cat by pulling your body right through the rings. And see if you can pause with your torso parallel to the ground. We're going to do 3 of these, my friends, with the feet just off the ground, the pelvis just lower than the shoulders. That's your German hang. And from there, we will pull through the rings. Try to find that position where your torso is parallel to the ground before you bring your feet back down to the ground. And round 3 of your skin the cat from German hang. You can scale this exercise down by giving a little push off from your feet in order to get through those rings. Super job, my friends. That's a hard one. We'll do a few more of our circles through the shoulders, rotating through the shoulders. The rings are great for this. for creating a little mobility through your shoulders, working on your shoulder rotations. Our next exercise will target the back of the arms, the triceps. We're going to stand with the feet a little bit behind the bars, behind the rings. And you're in a plank position with your abs on, your glutes tight, and palms are facing down on the rings. We'll bend the elbows to bring the hands by the ears and then press the hands down into the rings. Like you're trying to press the rings down into the ground as you lock your elbows straight. And do about 10 to 15 of those. And a couple more shoulder circles. Just gently leaning into it, just as much as you can tolerate. All right, let's keep the fun going with this little ab exercise. We're going to pike at the hips. We're folded tight at the hips. We're going to stack the pelvis over the shoulders and then softly tap the toes to the ground, lowering the pelvis down, maybe to shoulder height. This can also be done in a tuck position. Moving from the shoulders, you're lowering the pelvis towards the ground and then stacking the pelvis over the shoulders. Stay folded tight. Keep your thighs tight to your torso. Awesome. That's another great one for the abs and shoulders. And from here, we're going to stretch the triceps. So palms are facing down towards your feet. You're in a straight line from your heels to your shoulders. Your elbows are bent and your arms are parallel. And keep those abs tight. After a little stretch, back up those feet. Let's go for one more round of our skull crushers or tricep extension. We've got the glutes tight, the abs engaged, the arms stay parallel to one another as you bend your elbows and then push down into your rings, pressing down to extend the elbows fully, keeping the hip line straight, the abs and glutes engaged, just falling forward from the toes a bit. Hands come all the way to your ears on that skull crusher. Nice, nice, nice. And then let's load into those rings again and work the shoulder mobility one more time if you're willing to. On this round, we're actually doing a little bit of a wave to get into that load, to load into the wrists and hands and shoulders, to load into the rings. We wave our body forward and wave ourselves back. If you know me, you know I love to wave. It's one of the best ways to create some fluidity through the body, some nice gentle movement. So enjoy it here on the rings. All right, lastly, this is a fun finale. We're going to reach down to the ground with one arm. The other hand holds the ring, and we're pulling ourselves right up as high as we can with that single arm that's holding the ring. It's basically a single arm row, but a little more dynamic. You could imagine you're swinging from the trees of the jungle, and you've got to get a little bit of momentum and reach the non-pulling arm as high up on your ring strap as possible. As you bend the arm that's pulling you at the elbow and pull that hand towards your chest and get up very tall and reach the opposite arm for the sky or for that top bar. It's a nice little stretch as you reach one hand to the ground and then thrust yourself up to the rings. All right, that was super fun. Lots of challenging moves there for you to incorporate into your ring routine. I hope you enjoyed it. And stay tuned because I'll talk you through a few more ways that you can play, move, and train with me.
All right, so I hope you enjoyed our gymnastics rings routine. And now I want to fill you in on a couple of ways that you can work with me. For example, I've got a free workshop on November the 11th. That's a Saturday. And I'm going to be going over 3 techniques that you can use to get into your sensual body through some somatic movement. And it's pretty powerful stuff. It's going to make you feel confident in your body and like you have good coordination, good control over your body. So join me on November the 11th, and that's going to be at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, that's a free workshop, and we're going to have a lot of fun online. So you can join me for that, or you can come here to beautiful Costa Rica and join me on a movement experience in January 2024. We're going to be moving on gorgeous beaches like this one, Playa Junquial, and we're going to come together to prioritize our pleasure for 5 glorious days in this gorgeous country with this most incredible coastline. That's why we call it Costa Rica. In addition to that, I also have, my friends, a new subscription-based program that's available online that will teach you the fundamentals of a natural movement practice. And from there, we just keep building and building and building and making your movement practice a robust and powerful, transformative practice in your life. And then lastly, if you really enjoy just observing my movement practice on these gorgeous beaches, you can join me on Patreon. And there is where I post all of my movement content that is basically unedited and just very natural. It's more to give you inspiration with your own practice and to just share the beauty of movement. So that is on my Patreon. We now even have a free membership plan there. So you can just join me to observe some of the, non-edited, non-social media edited style of videos that I love to release and put out to provide you with a little something to inspire you in your movement practice. So you can join me on Patreon. I do have 2 paid tiers there, so do read up on what those tiers offer if you're interested in those. I'd love to see you in my members only club on Patreon. All right, so those are all of the ways that you can move and work with me, my friends. Thank you for joining me for this great gymnastic rings routine today. I look forward to seeing you next time for more pleasurable movement. And until then, keep moving naturally for life, my friends. Ciao.